Hello, dear friends. We are discussing on comedy as a form of drama. In my previous video, I have discussed a brief introduction of comedy. In this video, we are going to see the historical background of comedy and some definitions of comedy and what are the opinions of scholarly people like Aristotle and Plato about the comedy. So, historical background and definition of comedy we are going to discuss today. What is the history of comedy? Starting from 425 before Christ emergence BCE, Aristophanes, name of the dramatist, and a comic playwright and satirical author of the ancient Greek theatre, wrote 40 comedies. A huge contribution he made before 425 BCE. He wrote around 40 comedies, 11 of which survive. Only 11 comedies survived. You know, the print and other media was not at that time. Printing system was not invented. So handwritten material only was there. And out of these 40 comedies, all 11 comedies were survived. Aristophanes developed his type of comedy from the earlier satire plays, which were often highly obscene. Satirical plays. He wrote his comedies on the base of satires. Satire means kind of a critical appreciation or what we can say, a hideous picture of the social conditions. Which were often highly obscene. The satire plays, the only surviving example are by Euripides, which are much later examples and not representative of the genre. There are many comedies available of Aristophanes, but some critics says that these comedies are not up to the genre, up to the mark of the genre. In ancient Greece, comedy originated in bawdy and ribald songs. Bawdy and ribald songs means the songs related to indecent and vulgar topics, including sexuality and others, or recitation apropos of phallic processions and fertility festivals or gatherings. You just can't imagine that fertility festivals were organized at that time, and some phallic processions also were organized. Phallic means related to sexual life. People were the members of such processions. Phallic procession and fertility festivals were organized at that time, and some bawdy and ribald songs were sung. So, ancient Greek comedy was originated through these phallic processions. Around 335 BCE, before Christ immersion, Aristotle, in his work Poetics, you know very well that Aristotle uh, wrote an epic or critical treatise called Poetics, stated that comedy originated in phallic procession and the light treatment of the otherwise base and ugly. The base of the comedy was ugly, and these phallic processions became a cause of comedy. So, light treatment, light dialogues, light characters are there in such comedy. He also adds that the origins of comedy are obscure, not clear. Origin of the comedy are not clear because it was not treated seriously from its inception. Nobody look Nobody looked at comedy as a serious form of literature, and that's why it is difficult to say or difficult to point out its origin according to Aristotle. Aristotle thought that comedy was generally a positive for society, since it brings forth happiness, which for Aristotle was the ideal state, the final goal in any activity. He thinks that comedy is essential thing, which is quite essential. For Aristotle, a comedy did not need to involve sexual humor, though it is originated from sexual humor, but it did not need to involve in it. A comedy is about the fortunate rise of a sympathetic character. Comedy is something about the fortunate rise of a sympathetic character. There are many characters who gain sympathy in the drama. It is a fortunate arise of this sympathetic character. We should feel sympathy for a particular character, and comedy should arise naturally from this sympathetic character. Aristotle divides comedy into three parts, or three categories, or three subgenres. One is farce, second is romantic comedy, and third is satire. On the contrary, Plato taught that comedy is destruction to the self. Complete controversial statement made by Plato, who is the guru of Aristotle. Plato says that comedy is destruction to the self. Comedy destroys one's self. He believed that it produces an emotion that overrides rational self control and learning. He says comedy creates such emotions that overrides rational self control, means the person loses his self control and ability of learn because of comedy, because of the emotions created by the comedy. In the Republic, the epic of Plato, written by Plato, he says that guardians of the state should avoid laughter. Means the king, queen, or the supreme authority of the state should avoid laughter. For ordinarily, when one abandons himself to violent laughter, he says that for ordinarily, when one abandons itself to violent laughter, his condition provokes a violent reaction. If the person indulged in the laughter, his condition provokes a violent reaction. And whatever he does after the comedy, there is a possibility of violent reaction, not only by himself but by other people also. Plato says comedy should be tightly controlled if one wants to achieve the ideal state. If one wants to achieve the ideal state, comedy should be tightly controlled. That should not be a vulgar, that should not be related to sexual life, that should not be body and ribald types of comedy. Also in poetics, Aristotle defined comedy as one of the original four genres of literature. On the other hand, Aristotle says that comedy is one of the original four genres of literature. Other three genres are tragedy, epic poetry, and lyrical poetry. Literature in general is defined by Aristotle as a mimesis. What is the meaning of mimesis? Mimesis is an imitation. Literature is generally defined by Aristotle as a mimesis. It is an imitation of life. Comedy is the third form of literature, being the most divorced from the true mimesis. Comedy is the third form of literature that mostly divorced from the true mimesis. True mimesis means true imitation of life. And comedy is derived from the true imitation of life. Tragedy is the truest mimesis. Tragedy is the truest mimesis. It is the imitation of an action happened in our day-to-day life. So tragedy is the representation of the characters and their experiences in their personal life. So this is the one kind of an imitation, and that is truest imitation, as Aristotle says about tragedy. The genre of comedy is defined by a certain pattern according to Aristotle's definition. Comedies begin with low or base characters seeking insignificant aims and end with some accomplishment of the aims, which either lightens the initial baseness or reveals the insignificance of the aims. Either comedy lightens the initial baseness, initial importance of the drama, comedy lightens or reveals the insignificance of the aims. There is no significant aim in the comedy. There are some characters or low characters decorated or painted in the comedy. So this is the history of comedy and the opinions made by a great critic Aristotle and Plato about the comedy. What are the opinions about comedy of Plato and Aristotle? We have seen briefly. We will see definition of comedy in my next video and some types of comedy also. So till then, thank you.